to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty.
Sophomores Zeke Whitaker and J.D. Humphrey will now speak on the origins and importance of Veterans Day.
When Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner in 1814, he called America great. Soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen have bravely answered the call to defend our freedom, to aid our friends and allies, and to turn back aggressors. We can never fully repay our debt of gratitude to the more than 650,000 American servicemen and million veterans still living today. These words are inscribed on the Korean War Memorial in Washington, D.C. Our nation honors her sons and daughters who answered the call to defend a country they never knew and a people they never met.
Those words apply equally to many of our World War II, Vietnam War, and Gulf War veterans as well. Today, it is our privilege to say thank you to all of America's veterans, to let them know that we appreciate them for their sacrifice and honor them for their sacrifices. The price of freedom is high. We cannot afford to forget those willing to pay. Today, we celebrate America.
Junior Savannah Young will now read a poem in honor of Veterans Day.
I will now read I Am a Veteran by Andrea Christensen Brett. You may not know me the first time we meet. I'm just another you see on the street. But I am the reason you walk and breathe free. I am the reason. I own a restaurant just down the way. I'll sell you insurance. I'll start your ID. I've got the best looking grandkids you'll ever see. I'm your grocer, your banker, your child's school teacher, your plumber, your barber, your famous preacher, but there's a part of me. I joined the service while still in my teens. I traded my prom dress for camouflage grants. I'm the first in my family to do something like this. I followed my father like he followed his. Defying my fears and hiding my doubts, I married my sweetheart before I doing what had to be done. I served on the battlefront, I served on the base, I bound up the wounded and begged for God's grace. I gave orders to fire, I followed commands. I marched into conflict in far distant lands. In the jungle, the desert, on mountains and on the sea, my family and friends were home praying for me. For the land of the free and home of the brave, I faced my demons in foxholes and caves. Then one dreaded day, without drummer or fire, I lost an arm. The perils of war in my memory reclaimed. I don't really say much, I don't feel like I can, but I left home a child and came home a man. There are thousands like me, thousands more who are gone, but their legacies live as time marches on. White crosses in rows and names carved in queue remind us of what these brave souls had to do. I'm part of a fellowship, a strong, mighty band. I stand proud, I stand tall. I helped keep her flying over you, over all. I am a veteran. Thank you.
High School Advanced Choir, as they perform Love never leaves. Prisoner of War and Missing in Action table and its meaning.
You may have noticed a special table. It is reserved to honor missing men and women of the armed forces. Set for one, the empty chair represents Americans who were or are missing from each of the services: Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard, and civilians, all with us in spirit. Americans should never forget the brave men and women who answered our nation's call and served us round to show our everlasting concern. The cloth is white,
symbolizing the purity of their motives when answering the call to serve. The single red rose reminds us of the lives of these Americans and their loved ones and friends who keep the faith while seeking answers, our determination to account for them. A slice of lemon reminds us of their bitter fate, captured and missing in a foreign land. A pinch of salt. The Bible represents the strength gained through faith to sustain us and those lost from our country, founded as one nation under God. Let's now take a moment of silence to honor America's prisoners of war and soldiers missing in action.
And remain standing until a varsity cheerleader has presented you with a certificate. To the Pea Ridge High School Choir as they perform "We Are Held." Thank you for your High School choir members. Now, Kaylee Hightower will present a broadcast.
This year, we sent out a form to our student body asking, what does a Veterans Day mean to you? Here are a few of the responses. It's a way to let the veterans know we appreciate them and their sacrifices for our country and honor veterans who've passed. Veterans Day is a day to show our appreciation but Veterans Day is a day set aside from all the others that is just to show our appreciation for those who have served our country. There are many veterans in my family, and I am so appreciative of them and all that they did to help fight for our country and to make it better. If there is any day of the year that is important, it is Veterans Day. If not created, they put their own lives to the side for ours, and we should greatly appreciate them for that. Veterans Day is the day to celebrate the people who fought for me, to honor my dad and his decision to go into the Marines, to honor my family and others for their sacrifices. Veterans fought so faithfully, service for those who embody the true spirit of what it means to be an American, and service for those who pay the debt of our freedom with life, limb, and mind. They don't simply deserve one day out of the year in appreciation. Veterans deserve our love. So often are veterans neglected by friends, family, and government. So Veterans Day to me means a lifetime of bringing forth and raising up those in service past, present, and future. Veterans Day means service for those who served. We appreciate our veterans.
Sophomore Bridget Clark and Student Council Secretary Junior Zoe Olson will now introduce our and his father was a career United States Air Force Master Sergeant. Mr. Bobbitt volunteered for military service in the fall of 1972 so he would not be a draftee. He went to basic training at Fort Polk, LA, and from there went to BA College in ROTC. His first assignment was to Hawaii as a second lieutenant. From there, he then made an application for flight school and went to flight school at Fort Rucker, Alabama. He flew crash rescue for about 4 years at Fort Rucker, where he made the rank of captain. Mr. Bobbitt then went on special assignments to Bosnia and Somalia, where he commanded the 412-month tours in Korea. Mr. Bobbitt kept his paramedic certification up over the year 1999 at the rank of Lieutenant Colonel after 27 years of service. Mr. Bobbitt is married to his wife, Leanne Bobbitt. She is a retired nurse and paramedic, and they have 3 sons and 1 daughter. They now have 12 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild.
Good morning, Keeley. It's great to be back. It's a distinct privilege and honor to be the guest speaker this morning on Veterans Day 2024. My name again is Lieutenant Colonel Mike Bobbitt, served 27 years in the United States Army. My major combat deployments were Vietnam, Bosnia, and Somalia, the first incursion to Haiti, and the ROTC at West Texas State University. Became a commissioned officer, went to flight school at the age of 35, and was a medevac pilot until my retirement. I flew UH-1 Huey Force multipliers. The idea that the whole is bigger than the sum of the parts. The overall effectiveness of our school is increased by your and you as an individual matters. You are a force multiplier in this community and school. I praise my entire 9th grade class from last year for stepping up and continuing your education. J.D. Humphrey for being on the student council, stepping up to be on the STUCO, to name a few. Thank you for stepping up and being a Pea Ridge force multiplier. We're here today to celebrate and pay respect to our veterans on Veterans Day. Our sacrifice, veterans, leaders, and government. At this time, would all the veterans in the audience please stand? These are our heroes. Please give them a big round of applause. Please stand. Thank you. With all of us being overwhelmed by the election, there were many issues that our nation faced. Today I will start a short story about immigration and remind you, never judge a book by its cover. In a galaxy and time far, far away, a young GI, General Lishu, was born and sent to this land where this young GI was born. That required their son to be a citizen of that foreign country. No birth certificate from his home country. No idea that he was not a child of this land they were in. No land sanctioned by their own country. Young Giadi was raised by locals, spoke their language, and things were peaceful. Then the young Giadi's father and mother had to move to another land. Prepare to leave the Jabba the Hutt of the country it showed was a foreign birth certificate and papers. The new assignment caused the father and several other soldiers in his country to hire a coyote. And this coyote smuggled them across the border to the north of Jabba the Hutt's country. They did this under cover of darkness with the caution from the coyote that if there is gunfire, drive fast and don't you dare stop. The trip was successful, and now we move on to the Giadi's 10th year. Back in the United Resistance home country, the young Giadi had to go to the border of that country, hundreds of adults. So this was his ticket to being a U.S. citizen. This is what a child born of U.S. citizens had to go through when there were no U.S. assets in Italy in 1952. So you can imagine why never judge a book by its cover. There are many chapters in every individual book that will amaze you about each personal history and never will. And my naturalization papers are cherished. Remember, we are a country of immigrants, the great melting pot, but the right way. We are Americans. Now, Black Hawk students, pay attention. All right? When I say Black Hawks, who are we? You say Americans. Black Hawks, who are we? Who are you? That's the bottom line. We're Americans. High school and community, that much better. Hula, go Army, thank you, P. Ridge.
Thank you, Mr. Butler. Now, help me welcome Junior Sydney Brown, who will explain the importance and meanings of taps.
24 notes. There is something singularly beautiful and appropriate in the music of this wonderful poem. Its strains are melancholy, yet full of rest and peace. Taps is sounded not only for lights out at the end of the day, but also over the soldier's grave as the curtain rolls down upon his life. Its echoes linger in the heart long after its tones have ceased to vibrate in the air. To its highest honor, taps is performed today on the trumpet by Josh McCaslin. While taps is being played, please stand up and remove your hats. When taps concludes, please do not applaud. Again, please do not applaud.
This concludes our 2024 Veterans and Present for all that they do for our country. We invite all esteemed guests to stay for refreshments in the arena lobby. Students who are released to encore, thank you, veterans, for your service.